Welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, vocation read. Timeless, but doing this for the months of October and November 2021. I'm your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. Link in the description box. Mars conjunct Leo rising, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. You can call me Mal. Hey, my Leonides, my fifth housers. Let's get up in this gig. We are doing a 12-card spread, a 3 levels of power spread, 3 levels of power, inspired by the work of Caroline Myss, MYSS. This is her archetype deck we're going to be kicking off this reading with. There's a lecture, a link in the description box, a YouTube video of Caroline Myss, PhD, talking about the 3 levels of power, which you can apply to several different areas of your life. We are doing this life purpose, your work, your career, and your vocation. There are chakras involved. I'll explain that as I go. The guides usually spit it out through me when it's time for me to explain something. So standard YouTube reading rules apply. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. If it's not your read, it's not your read. But certainly do check your other signs. Your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus signs are going to get very, very different angles on work, career, vocation. Perhaps each one showing you where the leverage point is for each. For some, leverage might be in their work, others their career, others their vocation, and of course your moon sign might be way more connected to your heart's desires, your career, and your sun sign and rising more your work. We'll see. That being said, all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box if you would care to look at them. A lot of good stuff in my description box, including a reading called a video called Booking a Reading with Mal, explaining not just how to book a reading with me, which is relatively simple, but what goes on before, during, and after. Professional witch that I am, including follow-up calls, right? Like I like to hear from my clients 48 hours after the reading to see how the energy has settled in, because I'm a pro. I'm also a Virgo, but I look like a Leo, Mars conjunct. So let's get up in this gig. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can about probably one of the most challenging things on planet Earth, aside from romantic relationships, bringing our work, our career, and our vocation into alignment. Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. Tune into that. Actually, that feels really warm and lovely, just like a Leo. Here we go. I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through the 3 levels of power, work, career, vocation, and the higher selves of all involved for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Please, what is the 8th chakra dynamic, the soul power being alchemized from lead to gold, right? What are they developing in their work, career, vocation? Let's start with their work, their survival stuff, really how they navigate through the physical world, and not just maybe not how they pay their bills, but how they survive, because plenty of people don't make money from their work, they make it through their career. So what's going on? Their passion, their hunger, their thirst, that thing that lights up their soul. Just one card, please. For the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, the 8th chakra dynamic for their career, right? It's almost like you have 3 different lives simultaneously, your work life, your career life, and your vocation life. This is the 8th chakra dynamics of all of those. So what's going on in their spiritual calling, right? Their vocation. Yeah, their holy orders and all of that, but also their reason for living usually. Let's see. These are in the title. So let's see who we're talking to here. Oh, well, is that all? The Messiah King Visionary. I can relate to these. Now, the Messiah is a little heavy duty to start with, but a good place if you are self-employed. The shadow is what you're healing, what you're dealing with. The light is what you are shooting for here in terms of your physical survival. And I've got kitty cats running around my feet. They must know it's a Leo read. The shadow attribute, the lead, the toxic here. Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed, which leads to martyrdom like that. It's not true. We do have help. We do have help in the visible as well as in the invisible, but I notice from people who really have the Messiah archetype real strong in the shadow, they don't ask for help. No, only I can do it. Only I can do it, which leads to burnout, particularly if you are, as I said, self-employed, as I am. I flirted with this. I'm not really happy with the Messiah archetype in general, except for the light attribute, serving humanity with humility. So if you can get yourself not just into that mind space, but into that heart space, the grace of humility, the first and last grace I talk about in my book, Words of Grace, is, I call it the maiden grace, right? The virgin grace. Please grant me the grace of humility to know that I do not know. Like a maiden doesn't know what's going on right out in the world until they experience it. So to know that you don't know, to serve in any way that you can, particularly serving yourself, will pull you, alchemize you, heal you from that idea of, I'm the only way this can succeed, right? Because that's definitely the ego's point of view. It believes it's separate from everything, including the divine, which just isn't possible. In your career, well, by the way, the Messiah is definitely a divine family archetype. There are 9 different families, groupings. This is a masculine family archetype of the king. And I will say, if you're in the United States, the king archetype doesn't do too well here, at least in the United States proper, right? We left kings, apparently, to have, what, a democracy. But this archetype is still alive and well. The shadow's a nightmare. All shadow archetypes are a nightmare. Excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Oh no, we haven't seen any examples of that in the past 2,000 years. Not at all. The light attribute, enlightened benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. This definitely is feeling like a self-employed person I'm addressing here, although doesn't mean they don't collaborate, but if they really are the ones calling the shots there. Excessive feelings of entitlement. Entitlement is the deadly sin, the shadow passion of the solar plexus, healed by the grace of understanding and the grace of discernment. Definitely an ego thing. Only the ego can experience entitlement, but the soul, benevolent leadership. We've got a service card here, right? Serving humanity with humility on the ground, the physical level of power. Mental, emotional here, definitely in alignment. Got some crown, third eye stuff that you're shooting for here, particularly think of a king with a crown, opening the crown chakra, activating the third eye, more enlightened, benefiting those in your charge, right? The people under you, so to speak. I don't like using that language, but in terms of a corporate structure, you know, who's chairman of the board? Chairperson of the chair being. Maybe we should start using that, take it out of humanity entirely. The visionary, if you're gonna get it in your calling, your vocation. Your vocation is as a visionary right now. Now, the shadow side, like I said, sucks for all the archetypes. Selling insights to the highest bidder. I've seen it happen. I don't like it. Compromising your vision to make it more acceptable, often called dumbing it down, watering it down. Not for spiritual power. If you look at this first level as your physical power, right? Lower 3 chakra dynamic, how you make your way through the world. Heart, third eye crown here, this king, your personal level of power, mental, emotional. This is your spiritual and mystical power here. So to shoot for the visionary, a capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. I've been a visionary my whole life, practically. Seeing things before they happen, not just as a psychic, I hate that word, or as a clairvoyant, but just kind of knowing things ahead of time, seeing things that people can't even conceive of. It's very isolating, but which would lead someone to selling their insights to the highest bidder and watering it down, certainly. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Now, I'm going to say this is a Leo reading. King of the forest, right? This is a creative family archetype. The visionary, very creative, fixed fire vibe here. But serving with humility and serving humanity with humility does seem to be the key to moving forward physically. Okay, pardon me. It's a little muggy here today. Maybe a little too much, half and half in the coffee. Let's keep going. We're going to now work from those 8th chakra dynamics downward. Heart, third eye crown for all 3. This is the interior world, the more mental, emotional stuff going on behind your eyes. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my beloved and lovely goddesses of fire, the sign of Leo, powers of the South. Please, 3 cards. What's going on? Work, career, vocation here that the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading need to be aware of. Let's start with that Messiah archetype in their work in the world, serving humanity with humility. What's going on inside of them that may need to be addressed? Lovely. The Pisces card, the mermaid here, Mami Watu, if you want to look her up, M-A-M-I-W-A-T-U, the mermaid. The Pisces card, the Maiden of Cups in traditional tarot, that makes it the Knight of Cups, the Pisces card. So I'm going to say the compassion is in there. The wanting to serve is coming from an emotional place within you, but being a Pisces moon that I am, I can fill you in a little on that. That it's okay to feel both ways about it, right? There are going to be days, well, thank you, Stevie Nicks and Bon Jovi. Sometimes it's a bitch, sometimes it's a breeze, sometimes love's blind, and sometimes it's seas, sometimes it's roses, and sometimes it's weeds. And sometimes the garbage truck waits until you're doing a video. I'll pause this if necessary if it gets overtly loud. It's just right outside my window. So yeah, that Pisces thing, that can be an empathic thing. If you do consider yourself vibrationally empathic, not empath versus narcissist necessarily, not even social empathy, although that might be part of this, but that vibrational energetic empathy where you're feeling other people's stuff in your own energy field and cell tissue, right? That could really move someone to be like, no, I want to serve, I want to heal, I want to help, and I don't know how, but I'm willing to, right? I can feel my way through that. Very intuitive vibe here. You could definitely say heart, third eye crown. That's a heart thing going on. What about this king and their career, right? Because this is, I'm going to say, if one's talking about leverage in the physical world, it seems to be more in their career than their work. What's going on there, heart, third eye crown? Compassion, enlightening, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge, serving humanity with humility. You've got 2 water energies inside of you for a fire sign. Now, I will say you don't have to have placements in Pisces. This wouldn't necessarily be someone outside of you, this Pisces card in your work. It's your internal world, like a Piscean, fish-like. But with the 6 of Cups, everybody makes the 6 of Cups about someone coming back around from the past, not in this deck. This key word here is compassion. One woman laying on the beach needing healing, 6 of her friends laying hands upon her at the seaside. But the whole point of this is that they are at the seaside, and I know you can't see it. This is a gorgeous deck. The waves have faces, right? And they are rushing in, offering cups of healing and compassion, emotional healing and compassion. But that's the thing. It's equal give and take, that balance of the 6, numerology, the harmony of that. So there is a giving and receiving of emotional support here. I am loving that for a king archetype. Absolutely. That is, your heart is open and balanced here in your career, so you're not looking to fire anybody or whatever that is. This is good. I like those. Let's look at their vocation. What is their spiritual calling here with that visionary? What's going on inside of them, heart, third eye crown? Let's have a little look-see-ducksy at our Leos there. And your first major arcana card, the Chariot. You are gung-ho about your vision. Now, I say this every time because I think it's a really good way to interpret the Chariot card, regardless of the artwork. In this case, it is the Amazon. I call it my Wonder Woman card. Obviously, I would. I've got her everywhere. The Light Horse and the Dark Horse. The Light Horse is inspiration. The Dark Horse, the motivation. Oh yeah, I start my mornings inspired. Oh, I surrender this day to the divine. Please manifest the greatest reality through me. May it be the best day I ever have. Get myself in. I'm like, all right, I gotta make coffee. I gotta go pay bills. I gotta go do the thing, right? The carrot and the stick. That's why it's considered a Cancerian card. There's even a crescent moon shield that the Amazon is holding here. Harnessing those powers, balancing them, between want to and have to, right? There are certain things you just have to do. And particularly as a visionary, like take care of your own nervous system. Make sure you're getting enough rest, and don't hand your bubble to bubble poppers, if you get what I'm saying, right? But also that inspiration calling you forward. There is definitely, I'd say all three of your Daughters of the Moon, the internal cards, Heart, Third Eye Crown. You got water, and a Cancerian card. So your emotions are up here, for sure, but balanced in your career. But I feel like you just want to move on to this new thing. You just don't know how to bring it into physical form. You know you want to serve, you just don't know how to make it happen. Totally understandable in the new world that we're in. Totally understandable. Yeah, I wasn't always on YouTube. Can you imagine? I used to teach in front of blackboards. Well, pen boards, right? I used to take clients face-to-face in an office in Sayville, New York. Right? Everything has changed. So the desire to serve is there. I get that. But to do it as a king in your career is pretty cool, regardless of bodily gender. It's so not about gonads. He said coughing. Let's look at the lower three chakra dynamic here, the physical world. Couple of ways to look at this. You looking out at the inside world, something affecting the lower three chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus. You from the outside looking in it yourself. Something involving root, sacrum, solar plexus. Chakras can be both of those things. I'm trying to say this every time for new people. Root chakra is your tribal dynamics. Your tribal relationships, not just your genetic family. It can be racial, it can be spiritual, religious, political, right? Your circle of friends, what you do for a living, right? All chefs, like the tribe of chefs, if you don't know why they chose that. Get what I'm saying? Second chakra, one-on-one, umbilical relationships, including your relationship to money, because money is all one energy field. These work, career, vocations are about getting your bills paid too, but doing it in a way that fulfills your life purpose, right? That's the point of a life purpose read. So the other one-on-one relationships involved here, and then the solar plexus relationship, your relationship to yourself, your honor code, your self-esteem as verb, not noun, right? Your survival intuition. Let's look at this. Breathe. With all this emotion here, we need to ground this. Please, my gods of fire. The sign of Leo, the powers of the South. Please, as much clarity as possible for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video. Receiving this reading in their work, they've got the Messiah and the 8th, Pisces in the heart, throat, third eye, crown. What's going on, lower three chakras here for their work? 4 of Cups, some dissatisfaction. Could be as a result of gossip, actually. It's a lot of water going on here. You're going through an emotional time. But in this deck, the 4 of Cups is very much that. Maybe you're hearing whispers of, what's the word? Dissatisfaction. Maybe not disgruntled. 4 of Cups has an emotional range to it. Like, I really don't feel like it's in the vibe on this card in particular for this reading is necessarily depression. It feels like, disappointment and meh. There's this, it's like, I want to serve. I really do, and I'm feeling it, but meh, right? It's just in the physical world. You're just not feeling it. Doesn't mean that you're done with that particular work in the world. It's only a 4. With the amount of water you got going on here, it could be that the focus is really what's going to bring you into balance here. Seems to be your career with that 6 of Cups. Let's look. Yeah, my gods of Leo here. They've got the king, right? The king of the forest, the lion, the Leo, in their career. 6 of Cups on the inner, compassion that's just lending itself so much to the benevolent, enlightened leadership, benefiting those in their charge, right? Like the leader of the pack. That's why I fell for the leader of the pack. So what's going on, lower 3 chakras here for them in their career? The Lovers, a life-changing decision on the table. Sometimes you have to let them know, do you stay or do you go amidst a clash? The Lovers here in this deck, I love it. I think it's the clearest interpretation of what the Lovers card is usually about, so rarely about romance, except that romance and falling in love is a life-changing decision. You've got Hera, you've got Aphrodite, you've got Athena, to make loving, wise, empowered decisions. You need to tap into the Aphrodite of the heart, the Athena of the third eye, and the Hera of the throat chakra, the one that makes the decision. Can you make a loving, wise, empowered decision? This is what this center column, this second level of power, is about. And with compassion on the inner. You know, you can make a wise, compassionate decision here, right? You don't have to cut yourself out of it. Ultimately, what the Six of Cups is saying is that it is an equal give and take. It's not selfless compassion, nor is it selfish compassion. There is a balance of both here. Taking care of yourself, acknowledging how you're feeling, and maybe even being patient with yourself. Taking the time to really feel what's right for you, not just what you want, your element of fire, or what you have or might lose, the element of earth, or what you think, the element of air, but really to be compassionate here, to trust your heart in something that really in the physical world feels a little meh. You might also be picking up on the meh of other people involved with that Pisces card there, right? That reverberation, that echo chamber of other people's emotions, even people you don't know. That's why I wish people would understand what true intuitional empathy is. It's different than social empathy and that empath versus narcissist thing. It's an intuitive skill, empathy. Everybody's got it, just needs to be developed. But this, I think, is really where you're going to light yourself up. Your vocation here, the Amazon with the visionary Amazon. You now have two major arcana cards on the table, by the way. So let's see what this is about. Breathe. My beloved, gorgeous gods of fire, the sign of Leo, the powers of the South. Please, what's going on in the vocation here for the Leo collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I got the visionary archetype in the 8th, the Amazon, the Chariot, balancing that inspiration and motivation in terms of their calling. It feels like they're on fire with this thing, really wanting to move forward, considering all the water in the chart. What's going on for them in their vocation? Root, sacrum, solar plexus, dynamic. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups, you're really having the opportunity here to move forward in such a ecstatic, loving, blissful way that though there is certainly a predominance of water in this spread so far, well, these are all the tarot that's going down. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 9 isn't that out of whack, right? 1, 2, let me just double check. 3. Well, the Cancerian card, as we said, technically 4, and then 5. So 5 out of 9. It's a predominance here to really not just follow your emotions, to follow your intuition. I know we hear it 10 billion times a day. Just follow your intuition. The answers are always within. But in terms of a life-changing decision here, to understand that that is where the work needs to be done. Heart, third eye crown. Be the king of your domain. Not changing the gender on that. It's archetype, not gonads. It's a weird word. But if you really follow your gut on this, your gut, your heart, your instincts, balancing your motivation and your inspiration, what you want to do and what you have to do, your vision can manifest in a very, very lovely way. I mean, 10 of Cups is my true love card, but usually just for relationship spreads. But this can be with the lovers here as well, about something really that you love doing in physical form where your cups overflow. Now, not everybody gets paid for their calling, by the way. Most people, right? How many visionaries are artists in their career, but they're, serving in some way, shape, or form. Tables, waiting tables, whatever, secretarial work, clerical work, I guess is the word for that now. So whatever it is, I could see it's a little meh. It's a little boring, the work in the world. You want to serve. You've got the calling. You have the vision. But you've got a life-changing decision on the table here in terms of what you want to do. But definitely, whatever your vocation is, and remember, vocations don't have to be monetized for them to serve. You can serve one person per day in perhaps seeing a vision of them they cannot see for themselves. That's true compassion, seeing people in a place where they can't see their own light, their own grace, their own power, their own love. Certainly that can be done in prayer. Leos tend to want to make it a little bit more of a Broadway production number, though, and I'm okay with that, too. Last 3 cards. Let's get you some help. This is all clarity. We're going to get you 3 Matt Kahn healing mantras, right? To help you heal this, to bring it into balance. Alignment, right? To bring all of these chakras together, all of these energies, so you become either the Messiah King Visionary or the Visionary King Messiah. You can play it either way. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my beloved Ascended Masters of life, purpose through work, career, and vocation, 3 mantras. Let's do them one at a time. For the Leo Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, just shuffle those cards. Just shuffle those cards, please. They've got the Messiah in their work. Pisces on the inner, 4 cups on the outer. What's going on there for them? Their mantra is greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. Now look, then your service has to be to yourself as well. And I think we see that emotional balance, compassion part of that in your career. But in your work, this is about taking care of the physical body that you are in, right? Makes sense. Literal physical level of power. Eat right. More water if that's what you need, right? Get the rest. Do the exercise. But also, that's just the foundation, right? To find balance emotionally feels like you're doing pretty well on that. Balance mentally, there are no air cards anywhere in the spread. Something to consider. But also healing, balancing vibrationally, right? So all of that stuff. Because balance is a key to a life of infinite miracles, but often we don't see them. In other words, we're always so trying to chase after things, instant gratification, right? Like today, my internet went down. I did not know why. I called the cable company. They're like, no outages in your area. I unplugged everything in my fucking house and re-plugged it and finally worked. Like I had someone coming 2 days from now to come fix it. I was like, thank God I fixed it. But afterwards, I was like, I'm not ready to read. Screw the camera. Right? It's like, slow it down. Take care of yourself, right? That we don't often see the benefit of the miracles that we already have when we are inflamed, when we are out of balance. And I think with that meh card there, I think that speaks to that. I don't know if this is the end of your work in this particular thing, but I have to say your career is so dominant here with that life-changing decision. Breathe. My Ascended Masters in their career, they've got the King archetype, that benevolent, enlightened leadership they're shooting for, benefiting those in their charge. With compassion, 6 of Cups. It seems a given here that they are more towards the light than the shadow on this one, and yet have a big life-changing decision. Help them balance their heart, their throat, and their third eye. Activating the third eye, I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. That was pretty on the nose, or I guess the eye. Some days all 3 of my eyes roll at what's going on planet Earth. Activating the third eye, I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. Throat chakra is willpower. Spit, swallow, or chew, right? What are you going to do? What are you not going to do? What are your actions? What will you say? What will you not say? And I think that really goes very well with that idea of balance. I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, because beliefs are just thoughts you've rehearsed for a very long time that appear true but rarely are. Always a higher truth, by the way. Your ideas, right? We all have ideas about things, but thoughts are things. They are not who we are. When we identify with thoughts is when we get into trouble, because we are not thoughts. They are the element of air. They're supposed to flow through us. And conclusions. Well, that's big in my family. You come from a teacher and a lawyer. Judge, jury, executioner, right? And it's like, take it down a notch, Your Honor. Teacher. Sometimes our conclusions are completely inaccurate. Like one little variable can be off and the whole equation is wrong, right? Crack in the foundation, the whole premise falls down. I would say certainly if you are willing to open up that third eye. And honestly, like I said, with the King, there is something very third eye crown here. Remember, light is truth. Therefore, enlightenment is entruthment. And in the words of Carolyn Myss, a paraphrase, we say we want truth, but we don't, because then our lives will change faster than we want them to. And so we temper it, right? We slow it down. But the truth can be delayed, but not prevented. It always wins. The truth always wins. Maybe not in the ways we want it to, but it always does. Let's look. It's pretty big. It's pretty big there for an enlightened king with a life-changing decision. So my Ascended Masters, last card down, they got the Visionary in their calling, their vocation, right? A vocationary visionary, a visionary vocation with that Amazon drive. The chariot inside of them feels so heart chakra and throat chakra, right? We're gonna do this. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna grab the reins and do it. And with that Ten of Cups, they're either chasing that or moving towards that, or that is how they really are when they tune into their vocation connected to their work and their career. What is their perfect healing mantra for this, please, in this timeless work, career, vocation read? Rewiring the nervous system. I find strength in surviving my traumas. Makes sense for the Amazon. Right. All right. So look, a traumatized visionary is somebody who has really experienced the harsher side of the shadow. People don't understand me. Right? I tell them those. There is something called the Cassandra complex, if you want to go back to the Trojan War. Cassandra, a Greek priestess from ancient Greece, priestess of, Pythia, but Apollo at that point had killed the python, long story. And she's a virgin priestess of Apollo. And he appeared to her in the temple, and he wanted to do her. Wanted to make her no longer a virgin priestess, and she refused him. She goes, no, I'm taking vows. I love you. I can't do this. And so he cursed her with the curse of Cassandra, that he would have perfect prophecy that no one would believe until it was too late. Drama. In my family, I'll call it out, and then 2 years later, it's their idea. I'm like, oh, okay, I just learned. It's like, okay, well, I planted a seed, whatever. It's what happens when you're the youngest, right? When you're the youngest cub in the tribe, in the pride, I guess I should say. So you put these together, right? From work, career, vocation, greeting wellness, activating the third eye, and rewiring the nervous system. I find strength in surviving my traumas, right? Whatever the pains are, there's an opportunity for you to heal them with that Ten of Cups, love. Follow your vocation. And by the way, this might be helping other people here heal, find strength through surviving their traumas. Just look at how much you have survived in this lifetime alone. You're still here. If you're watching a YouTube video, chances are you're still in a body. Look at how much. Give yourself that pat on the back. Maybe that's part of that compassion to give to yourself, so you understand. Yes, I say it all the time. I have been to the underworld so many times. I have the River Styx speed pass, right? Cameron and I are old friends. He's a sweetheart. He's going to do his thing. Cerebrus puppy, right? But it has rewired my nervous system. Even today with the internet shut down, I was like, all right, show me what to do. Of course, I got frustrated and angry, but it wasn't a complete meltdown either. You know how us Leos get when we don't get our way, particularly if we have a vision and a thing that we want to do. Creativity, good fortune, fifth house dynamics. Leo. Let me put it together for you in a lovely little blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. Sirens in the background as I call upon my collective pantheons of the divine. Please, may the Leo collective sun, moon, rising Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that in their work as the Messiah, they can serve humanity with humility in their career, that they get that enlightened, benevolent leadership part of them activated, benefiting those in their charge, so that they can refine their capacity to envision what isn't even conceivable to other people, with a willingness to proclaim their vision regardless of personal gain, particularly the Messiah in their work, feeling a lot with that Pisces card on the inner, but feeling sort of meh on the outer. That could be the condition of the place that they, or the work or industry that they are in, but they need to come into to balance, greeting wellness, right? Because balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles, and I'm working on it. That king archetype, Six of Cups, that compassionate, equal give and take of love and compassion and care and support in terms of a life-changing decision that they need to activate their third eye, being willing to see beyond their beliefs, ideas, and conclusions so that this visionary archetype will be able to charge forth, really taking the joy and the pain, the motivation and the inspiration forward in their heart, third eye crown, rewiring their nervous system, finding strength, surviving their traumas, moving in to that Ten of Cups, their cups overflow in the visions that they have and the visions that they share, most likely helping others rewire their nervous system in the same way so that they find strength surviving their traumas, are willing to see beyond their beliefs, ideas, and conclusions, finding that balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles for their well-being, for the well-being of all who interact with them, and for the well-being of all. So motivate. So it is. Stone drop. Don't want to drop it too hard. That's an expensive piece. So there's your reading, work, career, vocation. Did you like it? Please like it. Do you want more of me? Then please subscribe. You want to read my book, Words of Grace? Link in the description box. That book saved my life in the writing. And it's helped a lot of people since. You can even preview it for free and read some of the reviews. That being said, you want to book me for a read, you know how to do so. Booking a reading with Mal in the description box. Otherwise, I would certainly start writing down some of your visions. Keep it secret, keep it safe, but keep yourself motivated. And ain't nothing wrong with being an Amazon on the inner with the Ten of Cups on the outer. Just see how many of your traumas you have actually survived and how strong you are as a result. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation, my beloved fifth house Leonine, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.